Hello folks, welcome back. In the last tutorial we looked at parenting, and in that tutorial we found that parenting was a pretty good method of linking one layer to another so it mimics the other layer's animation. As an example, we've got two layers here, text 1 and text 2. I'm going to parent text 2 layer to text 1 like so that when I move text 1 around, text 2 is now moving with it. Text 2 is now the child of the parent, and the parent is text 1. Now, this sort of technique, parenting, is very good for movements and animations of layers, but it's not that great when it comes to effects, and I'll show you why. So we've got text 1, and text 1 is the parent, as you can see here. Yeah. Layer 2 has been linked to layer 1, so layer 1's the parent. Now I'm going to apply a blur on this, and my hope would be, because text 2 is linked to text 1, it's the child of that parent, my hope would be that the blur would be applied to text 2. Let's see if it works. It actually doesn't, but I want to sort of take you through the motions. So if I go to Effect, Blur and Sharpen, and let's just do a very basic Gaussian blur. If I blur up that text 1, you can see that text 2 isn't blurring. Even though text layer 2 is parented to text 1, it won't mimic the effects, it'll only mimic movement and animation. However, there is a way around this. Let's deselect that effect. If you want to quickly apply effects to both layers, there is a method. And the way of using effects on sort of multiple layers is to go to Layer, New, and go for an Adjustment Layer. So select Adjustment Layer, and Adjustment Layer will park at the top of the two layers, which is where we do want it at the moment. Now we're actually going to put the blur on the Adjustment Layer. So select the Adjustment Layer, go to Effect, Blur and Sharpen, and again we'll just go for a basic Gaussian blur. And now the blur is applied to this entire layer. And this adjustment layer is kind of like an electronic but see-through layer. It will take the data of the effect and apply it to whatever layers are underneath. So on the adjustment layer, we're going to up the blurriness, and both text 1 and text 2 will now blur. So if you want to do something in a manner where you're not necessarily parenting, but you're applying effects to both layers, an adjustment layer is a good way to do that. And the adjustment layer will basically put the effect, in this case the blur, on whatever layers are underneath. As an example, you'll see if I move that layer above text 2 but not text 1, it now only works on text 2 because it's above text 2 but it's not above text 1. If I put it back up here, you'll see that it applies to both layers. There is another method of applying multiple effects, effects say to multiple layers, and we'll look at that in the next tutorial where we'll deal with pre-composing. See you then.